Hello, everybody. I'm really thrilled, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Mercy Thomas. She is a psycho-spiritual deep healer, a professional social worker, a counselor, and an author. So many different things in one person. And I have been really privileged to have known her for over 30 years. Hi, Mercy.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Yamini. I am so privileged to be interviewed by you. I consider it one of the best interviews which I am going to have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mercy. It's really, really great to have you here today. So Mercy, currently your primary occupation is life coaching. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I've also heard from people that your sessions are not just theory based. You draw on a lot of experiences. You help them connect with their experiences and draw from your own experiences to make the sessions more interactive and have a profound impact. So before we dive into more about your work as a life coach, can you share a little bit about your journey, about your experiences, maybe some turning points that brought you here?
Sure. My journey into this work wasn't a straight line at all. It came from my own seasons of emotional exhaustion, spiritual deprivation, and the quiet ache of carrying too much for too long. I learned that healing isn't about becoming someone new, but it's about remembering who you were before the world taught you to shrink. If I tell you about my personal story, after living a very peaceful and fruitful contemplative life in a religious congregation while actively involved in social work for 29 years, I had to face another 9 years of terrible emotional and spiritual deprivation in the same system where I dreamed to live and die. I took all this as a purification process of my soul, but one thing I overlooked was what was happening to my body. Until one day, one person very close to me pointed it out to me. She asked, "What's happening to you? Why is your body texture changing so much?" That question literally shook me, and for the first time, I looked at my body actually. I was fully aware of what was happening in my mind and my spirit, all its deprivation, but ignored my body. She didn't stop there. She challenged me to make a decision to either continue in that system, suffering without solution, or step out and live an aligned life. My immediate reaction was at this age of 62. And she calmly and steadily replied, "You are only 62. Only 62." That one sentence opened a door inside me. And at 62, with no security, no plan, no safety net, I just walked out. And the moment I stepped into alignment, life also responded. Immediately, I received a job with a remuneration that not only supported me to live joyfully, but even allowed me to save for my future. That experience changed something in me, really shifted something in me. I realized that so many people who come to me for emotional support are stuck exactly where I was, unable to take radical decision at the right time. They wait until the body begins to show signs: mood fluctuations, depression, exhaustion, lack of goals, inability to make decisions, emotional numbness. Watching this again and again made something very clear to me. Healing must begin long before the body starts carrying the weight. We must intervene before the body collapses under the emotional load. That insight, that lived truth which I experience in my body is what shaped this entire journey and why I do the work I do today.
Wow, what a leap of faith in so many ways. And like you said, because you aligned with yourself, things started happening. That's Very profound and yet so simple. You really have a way with words and putting things across, Mercy. All right. So now you were saying that people who are drained, mentally or spiritually worn out, before the body starts showing the weight of the emotions that it's carrying. So, in you work with clients. Your clients all come with these kinds of issues. So, in your experiences, what are the hidden emotional patterns that bring people to this point, that lead them to this point?
When someone reaches that point of deep
Mm,
exhaustion, it's rarely because of one moment. It's
mm,
usually years of emotional patterns they didn't even realize they were carrying.
mm,
Most
mm,
people I work with have lived their whole life being the strong one, the responsible one, the silent observer. They are like these buffers, which take all
mm,
these tensions of
mm,
everybody else except theirs.
mm,
And the one who never break. They think
mm,
themselves that they are not going to break.
mm,
Actually, the root cause of all this is lying in their childhood experience. They
mm, mm,
carry childhood wounds, the fear of
mm,
disappointing others, the pressure
mm,
to be perfect, and the belief that their worth comes from endurance.
mm,
Over time, these patterns create emotional tightness, nervous system
mm,
fatigue, and it begins to
mm,
show a slow disconnection from their true self.
mm,
What looks burnout on the outside is
mm.
often a lifetime of self abandonment on the inside.
Self-abandonment on the inside. So it's not just what others have done to you, it's how you have reacted to that and internalized it. So, my question goes to that only. You said nervous system healing, bringing it together, the imbalance, and reconnecting with your inner self. So if and you also said something about the survival mode, right? So if you've been living in a survival mode all these years, how do you start to feel safe in yourself again?
When someone has lived in survival mode for years, their body doesn't trust safety, even
Correct.
when life becomes calm.
Mm,
So, the first thing I do is not fix them. I
mm,
get their nervous system to exhale because they were holding too much for too long. Now that has to go out.
mm,
Start with the micro moments of safety, slowing,
mm,
softening the
mm,
breath, noticing
mm,
sensation without judgment,
mm,
reconnecting with the body in tiny, compassionate steps. We
mm,
don't rush, we don't push. We
mm,
create a gentle inner environment where their system slowly learns I don't have
mm,
to fight anymore. And when
mm.
the body feels safe, the mind naturally quiets and the true self begins to return.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yes. But what is important is, along with this, okay, fine, you're saying your body become calmer, the mind will become quieter, and the healing will start. But one of the biggest problems that many people, me included, face is that, if we tell people, if we reveal our true self, we'll be rejected. It's a strong fear of being rejected. And at the same time, what you were saying earlier, that we tend to do our best to together. You can't collapse. You're not allowed to collapse. So when you say that you are not coping and you're collapsing, how do you get there? What I'm saying is we carried these all our lives. Okay, the fear of being rejected, the need to hold everything together, which leads to self abandonment. You've carried it for so many years. You're saying small steps, but how do you release these emotional burdens that have been carried for so many years?
Actually, fear of judgment is one of the deepest wounds I see.
Mm,
It
mm,
comes from years of being misunderstood, criticized, or
mm,
expected to be perfect. In my work, we don't just talk about the fear. We meet the
mm,
part of them that learned to hide. We bring
mm,
compassion to the younger self who believed love had to be earned.
mm,
Through emotional healing, they release the old stories, and through
mm,
spiritual grounding, they remember who they were beyond those stories. And
Okay.
slowly, the pressure to hold all together dissolves because they finally feel held by themselves, by their inner truth, by something larger than them. And this is a healing process.
Okay. All right. My now, Mercy, you mentioned emotional healing and spiritual healing. Now, for most people, these are two very different worlds. How do you bring these two diverse worlds together in your, because yours is psycho spiritual healing? How do you bring it together in that? And how does this have a transformative effect on your clients?
For me, emotional healing and spiritual grounding are not two separate paths. They are the two sides of the same return. But to understand why this work is so transformative, we need to understand something fundamental about human existence. We are a spectrum. I mean, the human existence is a spectrum with three wings: mind, body, spirit. All three are equally important, but the mind is the strongest influencer. When the mind carries fear, pressure, unresolved wounds, or harsh self-talk, it immediately affects the other two. The body responds first. It shows physical signs: fatigue, tightness, hormonal imbalances. These are visible, so people seek medical help because it disrupts their routines. But what happens to the spirit, the soul? That part is subtle. You don't see the damage, you don't recognize the depletion. And because it is invisible, you ignore it. Emotional healing works on the mind, releasing the pain, and the pattern keeps someone small. Spiritual grounding, on the other hand, works on the soul, helping them remember their essence, the part of them that was untouched and deeply wise. When these two meet, something powerful happens. You don't just heal your wounds, you come home to yourself. Clients often tell me they feel both lighter and stronger, softer and clean. That is the transformation, the merging of the healed heart with the awakened inner self.
That's such a beautiful thing to say. Coming home to yourself. Wow, fabulous! It's fantastic, Mercy. Mercy, you were talking about your the whole course being a psycho spiritual healing journey. So, what stages in psycho spiritual healing?
Actually, there are 5 stages in psycho spiritual healing. The first stage is the denial or numbness. You say, I am fine. When clients come to me, they say, I am fine. But no capacity to feel anything more. It's not avoidance, it's just survival. I'll give you my own example. When my mother passed away, I didn't feel anything at first. I walked around the house as if nothing has happened. Almost like I was functioning from outside myself, my own body. Even during the funeral, I moved through everything quietly, as if I was watching someone else's life. For a whole week, I stayed numb. Not because I didn't love her, but because my system simply couldn't accept the truth that she is not. Now comes the second stage, that is awareness, which is a recognition. This is honesty. You see the inner noise, what's happening inside you, what hurts actually. So in my case, about a month later, I saw the video of her funeral, and something inside me broke open. A wave of pain swept through my body so suddenly that I screamed. That when the truth finally reached me, she was really. You understand this? Till that time, I was numb. Then the third stage is the process, like unfolding.
Okay.
And this is where the real work begins. You don't suppress. You meet the abandoned path, discover the patterns.
Mm.
So in my case, what happened was that I cried through those memories while I was watching the video, not just for her, but for the part of me that still needed.
Mm.
This was the
Correct.
beginning of my inner world opening, actually. Then comes the next stage of release, it's letting.
Mm.
It can be through
Mm.
tears or long breaths, or even emotional system begin to move,
Mm.
not even shaking.
Mm.
So one day after crying until my chest hurt, I felt
Mm.
something shift. A heaviness left
Mm.
my body.
Okay.
My breath softened and my shoulders
Mm.
dropped.
Mm.
It was as if my system finally allowed the grief to move through me instead of holding it inside.
Mm.
I was telling you that everything's held for a long time, and the final stage is forgiveness or liberation. Now, when we talk about in psycho-spiritual healing, forgiveness is not forgiving others. Rather, it
Mm.
really we releasing the burden from our nervous system.
Mm.
You returned your true self.
Okay.
And in my case, slowly I began to feel lighter. I told myself
Mm.
it's no longer with me physically, but
Mm.
she's closer to me in my spirit rather than ever before, even till
Mm.
today, closer. I let her go with love.
Mm.
Stopped fighting the reality of her absence and started
Mm.
the truth of her presence in a different way.
Mm.
This is my liberation, not forgetting her, but carrying her in
Mm.
a way that didn't break me anymore. It takes time. In
Uh.
some people, it takes very fast, and in some people, it takes longer depending upon the wound they are carrying. See,
Mm.
others think was a recent event, but suppose something happened to someone in the childhood, it takes longer.
Mm.
But the moment when we are able to punch that, or we are able to
Mm.
locate the place, then the healing is faster.
Mm.
That is a secret of it.
So, Mercy, in these, which do you think is, I mean, you've said there are 5 stages, right? So, denial, awareness, unfolding or opening of inner world, release, and forgiveness or liberation. So, which stage do most of your clients come to you at?
It depends. 90% of the cases are childhood wounds.
Mm. Mm.
There are a few cases which comes maybe after their marriage, their in-laws place, they have problems.
Yeah.
But if when you dig, even that will sound back to their childhood, how
Okay.
their relationship with their parents, where mother was or father was. So there is a kind of relationship always, but the how do you say, the triggering is stronger maybe in a later time.
Okay.
In all the cases, what happens when something happened in your childhood, you actually forget, or it goes under the carpet because it
Mm.
goes to the subconscious mind and you are no more aware of it. But this trigger,
Correct.
when something happened and then it suddenly triggers, you are not aware of it, why it's happening.
Mm.
Others are asking why she is bursting out, what's happening to her.
Mm.
That's the situation. But I always believe most of the wounds are from the childhood. Because
Childhood.
a child is not given that self-respect, or the child is not taken into confidence, the child begin to feel a kind of division in his or her heart.
Mm.
And that
Mm.
gradually grows. And the more if the family or the teachers or the school, whoever in authority adds to it, so the child deviates from his or her own inner true self, where the
Mm.
wise person is lying.
Mm.
I was talking about the spiritual part of it,
Correct.
Yeah, then they have no power to fight against it.
Mm. Very interesting. That's really, really nice to hear that once the awareness comes, the journey becomes a lot faster. It's just being aware of what happened that caused the wound.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the questions. that I was able to explain what exactly what I'm doing, because people may not even know that what is psycho-spiritual healing,
Correct,
either
correct.
psychologically or spiritually, what these two together, but it has a lot of meaning in it.
That's what makes your course very unique.
Yes, yes. Those who know what I'm doing, or once they go experience that, they will tell others, this is so good. But otherwise, they will have a kind of a doubt what she is doing actually.
So, Mercy, you are mentioning that a lot of the wounds are childhood wounds that are caused in childhood. I was wondering if you have thought about, helping parents identify where these wounds can be caused and also respond or to these wounds, not react to them, respond to these wounds so they don't build up and have to be addressed when the child grows up, maybe addressing it during the childhood itself.
Actually, that's a very important point which you brought out. And I
Mm,
do it individually when I see
mm,
any parent or even teachers or
mm,
somebody elder treating a
mm,
child
mm,
without respect or taking
mm,
the child for granted that child is not
mm,
understanding anything.
mm,
But
mm,
also, I have this great desire to make it as a movement. Maybe
mm.
gradually I will work in schools, parents association, and all. That's in my mind. But at present,
Mm,
I am focusing on the psycho-spiritual healing.
mm,
But as you said, it's so important that
mm.
at least the coming generation should.
Yes.
So, if the young couple are helped to understand this on
Mm,
a deeper level, I think the next generation will have a better
mm,
free thinking. Uh,
mm.
that spontaneous child will not die in the children,
Yes.
we are
Yes.
grown, because we are made up of this parent, adult, and child.
Correct. Correct.
Until we die, so that nurturing child will be alive, so that we can end
Mm,
jokes at that level. We don't get hurt with something very small when somebody said.
mm, mm.
I'm very grateful that you brought this point out, because it was always in me, and now I think I need to think for a second time about it. Thank you so
So if
much.
you do let me, if you do that, let me know. My daughters and their friends are all either getting married or thinking of getting married. So they're at the right phase where you can actually do maybe a session with them and things like that. Even if you want to pilot, because
I
I
don't,
have like a huge population.
I don't mind if you can get 10 people. I can take a Zoom meeting for them.
I'll check with them and get back to you on this.
Yeah.
But we can definitely plan something
So we
like
are
that.
starting
Awesome.
new.
Yes.
Not new. It was my dream always. But okay. Thank you so much.
We'll definitely.
I am
Thank
all
you.
ready for it, because that's something which I love to do. I love
Mm,
children's future. If the child is safe, the world is safe, because
correct. Correct.
every individual is a universe.
Yes.
How that one individual grows, good or bad, negative or positive, all will be seen in the world, isn't it?
Mm,
The whole
absolutely.
the whole destruction in this world also because of some people's wrong,
Correct.
and all the good things also the same way.
Correct. Correct.
So thank you for
Sure.
bringing that point. I'm so happy about it. Okay.
I am also happy. I've worked in child protection for the last 15 years. So children are like close to my heart for everything. So when you spoke about childhood wounds, that's what popped into my head.
Why
So
don't we work together then for something?
let us definitely. We should explore
I'm
this and we'll figure
ready
something.
for it. I'm telling you.
100%,
I
100%.
know your power. I know how strong you are. So if you give hand, that I will take it.
I would love to. After 30 plus years, we'll work together again. I
Yeah.
would just absolutely love to do it. Let's seriously plan and work on this.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I don't have any questions right now. I think what you're doing is fabulous. Looking forward to seeing how this works out. And I just love the image you have of this mobile emotional clinic. I think it's fabulous. All the very, very best to you. And look forward to seeing how this develops.
Thank you so much. I really feel your questions were very powerful, so that I could explain everything well. And maybe we could meet again sometimes to talk about something more. And
Yes, 100%. We should make this a more ongoing process.
thank you very much for giving this time, your precious time. I know how busy you are.
I know. Like I told you, I'm in the process of working out a concept note for a kind of 6-month project that looks at research in an innovative manner. Yeah. But anything for you, and I'm really glad I got to learn so much as well. Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.